Hi dears, good morning all of you. And now let us discuss about law of conservation of energy. Okay, so what is law of conservation of energy? Before going to law of conservation of energy, there is a question given to you in your textbooks. That is, are various energy forms interconvertible? Do you think various energy forms are interconvertible? What is your opinion? Definitely, you can see when you go through your home that you can find some various examples that relates the interconversion of energy, right? That is, for example, when we switch it on our fan, when we on our fan switch, what happens there? When we on that switch, what happens? There should be a flow of electric charges, right? Okay, so there we utilize electrical energy, right? So that electrical energy when entering to the uh, fan, what happens inside that fan? There are some mechanical works are done there. That is, the fan utilize this electrical energy that converts electric motor inside that fan, that converts this electrical energy into mechanical energy, right? So that mechanical energy provides a kinetic energy that used by these leaves, right? So the leaves can rotate. Okay, that is, they produce some kinetic energy, right? That is, kinetic energy is obtained by the motion of these leaves. Okay, so electrical energy again converted into mechanical energy, then it is converted into what? Potential kinetic energy, like all that things. Mechanical energy is also, it is a combination of potential energy and kinetic energy, right? Okay, so mechanical energy എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ potential energy plus kinetic energy ആണ്. Okay, but when we see the leaves are rotating, we can say it is kinetic energy. Okay, so from where did this kinetic energy comes? From where this kinetic energy comes? That is obtained by switching on this fan, right? That is electrical energy again converted into kinetic energy. Okay, so like that you can see different mixer grinder are working and all that things. You can see there is a interconversion of electrical energy to mechanical energy, kinetic energy, that all things. Okay, so we can say all energy forms are interconvertible. Energy forms are interconvertible. And how this interconversion happens? Is there any relation or how it happens? That comes under law of conservation of energy. So what is law of conservation of energy? What does it say? Law of conservation energy is a universal law. It valids everywhere. Okay, so it is a universal law. What does it say? Law of conservation of energy says that law of conservation of energy, conservation of energy. I hope you can read this. This blackboard is not much that clear, so I think you can read this. Okay, this is law of conservation of energy. What does it say? It says that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only converted from one form to another form. That is law of conservation of energy. Say, what is law of conservation of energy? Yeah, it states that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can convert from one form to another. Okay, അതായത് എനർജി നമുക്ക് ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനും കഴിയുന്നില്ല, അത് ഡിസ്ട്രോയ് ചെയ്യാനും കഴിയുന്നില്ല, ബട്ട് ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി കൺവേർട്ടഡ് ഫ്രം വൺ ഫോം ടു അനദർ. Okay, so that is law of conservation of energy and it is a universal law. Okay, so for example, we can take an example of a free fall. What do you mean by free fall? Free fall, you all know that we have already studied in the previous lesson, right? So what is free fall? It is the movement of an object that is only under the influence of gravitational force. ഒരു ബോഡി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് ഫ്രീലി ഫോളോ ചെയ്യാം, റൈറ്റ്? ഇറ്റ് ഫോൾസ് ഓൺലി അണ്ടർ ദ ആക്ഷൻ ഓഫ് ഗ്രാവിറ്റേഷണൽ ഫോഴ്സ്, റൈറ്റ്? Okay, so when an object have a free fall. Suppose this is the object and it is falling down, right? So this is a free fall. And here we have the position A, and at last it reaches ground, and this position we can write this as B. Okay, so from this we can update here the position A. Here the object has some energy by virtue of its position, right? That means at point A it has only potential energy, right? So here at A, at position A, it has only potential energy, right? Potential energy, that is equal to mgh, right? Is it clear? Okay, so at this position A, the object has only the potential energy mgh. Okay, so after falling down, what happens after a particular time? It is somewhere in between A and B. So what happens as it falls down? Its potential energy decreases, and what happens? Its kinetic energy goes on increasing, right? So for if here is a point C, at C we can see, so we can write its potential energy decreases, and what happens? That means the height decreases, right? Height decreases means potential energy decreases, and its kinetic energy increases. Okay, so this symbol shows that decrease, and upward arrow shows that a sign shows that increasing, and downward arrow shows decreasing. Okay, so here potential energy at point C. At point C, we can say its potential, the object's potential energy decreases, but it's not equal to 0, right? It has some height. It has some height on this point C, right? So potential energy decreases, but when comparing this point A, this height decreases and also potential energy decreases, and kinetic energy increases. That means while falling down, it has some velocity, right? So kinetic energy should increase. And at point B, what happens? At point B, the height reaches 0, right? The object reaches ground, so we can see potential energy is equal to 0. Height is equal to 0, potential energy should be 0, right? And kinetic energy should be maximum, that is half mv square. Here the potential energy is maximum, but kinetic energy is 0. And at point B, what happens? Potential energy is 0, but kinetic energy is maximum. But in all cases, what the total energy of this object is same. That is, here the at point A, total energy is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. Okay, that is potential energy plus kinetic energy. It should have some value, a constant value. And here also potential energy decreases, but at the same time kinetic energy increases. So here also it should have a value C. That's a constant value. Okay, it's not you don't confuse with this C. So this has some value. Okay, and at this point C also the total energy should be same, and also here also we can see the total energy of this object should be same. Okay, that means the total energy of this object is conserved. Potential energy plus kinetic energy should be conserved. Here, a part of potential energy is utilized for increasing the kinetic energy. That is, interconversion of potential energy to kinetic energy happens, right? So that is, interconversion only happens, but there is no change in the total energy. Okay, that is universal law of conservation of energy, or we can say law of conservation of energy. Energy should be conserved everywhere. Okay. So here the same example is given to you in your textbooks, or we can go through your textbooks quickly. Okay. That is, whenever energy gets transferred, the total energy remains unchanged. That is, here potential energy gets transferred into kinetic energy, but the total energy remains constant. Okay. And according to the law of conservation of energy, energy can only be conserved from one form to another. Energy can only be converted from one form to another. It can neither be created or destroyed. That is, that I told you. But what does it say? That is, law of conservation of energy states that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only converted from one form to another. Okay. And consider an example. Let an object of mass m be made to free fall from a height h. At the start, the potential energy is mgh, that is kinetic energy is 0. So from the point A, potential energy is maximum, that is mgh, kinetic energy is minimum, that is equal to 0. Okay. And why is the kinetic energy 0? Because there is no velocity, right? Okay, it is 0 because the velocity is 0. The total energy of the object is thus mgh. As it falls, its potential energy will change into kinetic energy. If v is the velocity of the object, then the kinetic energy given us half mv square. Okay. As the fall of the object continues, the potential energy would decrease, and while the kinetic energy would increase. Okay, so when the object is about to reach the ground, that is h is equal to 0, and v will be the highest, v is maximum. Okay, and at that case what happens? Therefore the kinetic energy would be the largest and the potential energy will be the least. However, the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy of the object would be the same at all points. That is, potential energy plus kinetic energy is a constant. Okay, that is, potential energy plus kinetic energy is equal to a constant. Okay, that is mgh plus, I can write here mgh plus half mv square. That is, potential energy plus kinetic energy is equal to a constant. Okay, this is the law of conservation of energy. And the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy of an object is the total mechanical energy. Okay, so this in turn we can say this as mechanical energy. Mechanical energy. Okay, the sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy is its mechanical energy. And we find that during a free fall of the object to decrease in its potential energy at any point in its path appears as an equal amount of increase in kinetic energy. Then only the sum should be constant, right? Potential energy എത്രത്തോളം decrease ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ അത്രത്തോളം kinetic energy increase ചെയ്യുന്നു, right? Then only these two get balanced. Okay, and there is thus a continual transformation of gravitational potential energy into kinetic energy. That potential energy, this potential energy is get converted into kinetic energy, right? Okay, so that is law of conservation of energy. And here given an activity 11.15. An object of mass 20 kg is dropped from a height of 4 meters. And fill in the blanks in the following table by computing the potential energy and kinetic energy in each case. So how you will find the kinetic energy? Potential energy you can easily find, that is by using the equation mgh, right? So m is given as 20 kilogram and the height is also given, height at which object is located is given 4, 3, 2, 1 and just above the ground, right? So you can easily find out potential energy by using the equation mgh. M is equal to 20 and G is equal to, you can take here G as 10. Okay, the value of G we can take as 10 meter per second square, right? And at the first instant we can see mgh, that is equal to m is equal to 4. So potential energy we can write m is equal to 20 kilogram and h is given as 4 at first instant. First case, the height is given as 4 meter, right? So potential energy EP we can write as mgh, 20 into G we can take it as 10 and G 10 into 4, right? So here we will get 800 joules, right? EP we will get 800 joules, right? And at that height we know kinetic energy should be 0, right? So kinetic energy should be 0, and what will be the total energy? It is the sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy, right? So total energy is equal to 800, 0 plus 800, 800. And next case, point, that is the height is equal to 3. Height then is equal to 3 meter, and what will be the value of potential energy? It will be equal to 600 joules, right? 600 joules. And from here we can find kinetic energy. Kinetic energy we have half mv square, but we don't know what is the velocity. Okay, so what is how we can find? And we know total energy is always 800. Total energy is always 800. Then now we get potential energy as 600, and from there we can take a total energy. Total energy we can write it as 800, right? First case we found total energy is equal to 800 joule, and now we found potential energy is equal to 600. So we can take kinetic energy is equal to 800 minus 600. Okay, that is equal to 200 joules. Like this we can find kinetic energy from, if we have total energy and potential energy, we can find kinetic energy, right? Okay, so you have to fill that table like this. Okay, so you should fill that table. Okay, so that is about conservation of energy and how we can relate this potential energy and kinetic energy and total energy. Total energy is always constant. The total energy is always conserved, right? Energy can be converted from one form to another. Okay. So now we have to find the rate of doing work. What is the rate of doing work? What term represent the rate of doing work? That we know power represent the rate of doing work. Okay. So what is power? Power is a measure of how fast or how slow we done a work. That is power. Okay. So power indicates the rate of doing work or the rate of transformation of rate of transfer of energy. Right? Energy we can we know energy can be converted from one form to another. Right? So the rate of transfer of energy also we can indicate by power, right? Actually, what is power? It is rate of doing work, and power indicates how fast or how slow work is being done. Okay, so now we have to study about power. Okay, so tell me what is power? It is rate of power is equal to rate of doing work. Rate of doing work. It is power or rate of transfer of energy. Okay. So here it is given the expression for power is equal to work done by time. Okay, so rate we normally we know rate we relate it with any quantity that is relating to time, right? Okay, so rate of doing work we can write power is equal to work by time. Okay, so power is equal to work by time. So what will be the unit of this power? We know unit of work is equal to, what is the unit of work? It is joule, right? Unit of work is joule and unit of time is second, right? So what will be the unit of power? Joules per second or joules per second, or it is termed as watt. Okay, what is watt? W-A-T-T. That is unit of power. Unit of power is watt. Okay, so the unit of power is watt in watt, having the symbol W. What if we can write the symbol W? Okay, so here it is given in your textbook. The unit of power is watt. In honor of James Watt, it is given the power of unit power. The unit of power is watt. It is given as a honor of James Watt. Okay, it is a scientist and having a symbol W. 1 watt is the power of an agent which does work at the rate of 1 joule per second. So we can define 1 watt. Okay, so we can define 1 watt power. 1 watt power, how we can define? We take all these as unit. 1 unit work, 1 second of time. Right? Okay, so we can define 1 watt is the power of an agent which does work at the rate of 1 joule per second. So an agent done a work of 1 joule within a time of 1 second. Okay, that is 1 watt power. Okay, so you should underline that how we can define 1 watt. You should underline this. 1 watt is the power of an agent which does at the rate of 1 joule per second. Okay, so we can also say that power is 1 watt when the rate of consumption of energy is 1 joule per second. Okay, so that is why I am saying power we can express as a rate of transfer of energy. Okay, so how we can define 1 watt? We can also define 1 watt as when the rate of consumption of energy is 1 joule per second, then we can say it is 1 watt. Okay, so 1 watt is equal to 1 joule per 1 second and 1 watt is equal to 1 joule per second, that is consumption of energy at the rate of 1 joule per second. And we express larger rates of energy transfer in kilowatts. Okay, so normally we use higher watt units, that is kilowatts. Watt is a smaller unit of power. Normally we use kilowatt per hour, like that things. Okay, so we express larger rates of energy transfer in kilowatt. 1 kilowatt is 1000 watts. Okay, so 1 kilowatt we can represent by letter W. So kilowatt we can represent 1 kilowatt is equal to 1000 watt. Okay, and 1 kilowatt is also, we can write what the another unit of power is joules per second. Okay, so 1 kilowatt we can write it as 1000 joules per second. Okay, so that is given in page number 155. And the power of an agent may vary with time. Okay, that is power is equal to W by T, right? Work by time. So the power should be varies with time, and this means that the agent may be doing work at different rates at different intervals of time. Okay, and therefore the concept of average power is useful. Okay, so different time different work ആയിരിക്കും ഒരു ഏജൻസി ചെയ്യുക. So we have to take average work. Normally we take average work. Okay, so ഒരു ഇൻസ്റ്റന്റിൽ ഒരു 10 സെക്കൻഡിൽ ഒരു particular amount of work ചെയ്തു, and after that, after the next coming 10 seconds, they maybe they can done more work, right? So in normal purpose we use average work. Okay, instead of this work we use average work. Okay, so that is why, because the power of an agent to do work may be vary with the time. Okay, so at different rates the concept of average power is useful, and we obtain average power by dividing the total energy consumed by the total time. Okay, so what average power we can write the total work done divided by total time taken. Okay, total time taken to do that work. Okay, so that is average power. So that is rate of doing work. Rate of doing work means power. What is the unit of power? It is watt, or we can write this as joules per second. And also the higher unit of this power is kilowatt. 1 kilowatt is equal to 1000 watt, or 1 kilowatt is equal to 1000 joules per second. Okay, so it depends on power, depends on time. Okay, so we can take average power. Average power is equal to total work done by total time taken to do that work. Okay, so here is an example given to you. Two girls, each of weight 400 Newton, climb up a rope through a height of 8 meter, and we name one of the girl A and the other girl B. Okay, so girl A takes 20 seconds while B takes 50 seconds to accomplish this task. What is the power expended by each girl? So here we have to find power. What are the things given to you? Force is given to you, that is or weight is given to you, right? Okay, weight of that weight of each girl is given 400 Newton, and they climb at a height of 8 meter. Okay, so h is given, and weight we know. What is the weight? Weight we know, that is mass into acceleration due to gravity, right? Weight is equal to mg. So mg, and also h is given, right? So here, and another thing that is given, girl A takes 20 seconds while B takes 50 seconds. Time is also given. The two girls takes, first one takes 20 seconds and another one takes 50 seconds. So here we have to find the power. Okay, so we have mgh, potential energy we can calculate from the given data, and by dividing it with the time we will get power of that girls. Okay, so we can write here. I repeat, this blackboard is not well, so you should look into your textbook. It is more, it will make you more clear. Okay, so time take girl A takes a time of 20 seconds, right, to climb a height h, to climb a height. How much height? Height is equal to 8 meter, right? 8 meter, and she has a weight mg. She has a weight of how much weight? 400 Newton, right? 400 Newton. Okay, two girls each of weight 400 Newton climbs up a rope of height 8 meter. We name the girl A and B. then girl takes 20 seconds, girl A takes 20 seconds to climb 8 meter having a weight of 400 Newton. Okay, so what is the power of this girl? The power expended by this girl we can calculate, that is equal to power is equal to what? Work done by time. Okay, so work done, what is the work done? That work done is stored as their potential energy, right? To climb to climb this height 8 meter, they expend some work. That work is stored as their potential energy, right? So potential energy we have mgh by T. So what is equal to? That is mg is equal to 400, h is equal to 8 and divided by 20 seconds. Okay. So what will be the value? This will be 20 into 8, right? So 20 into 8, 160. Okay. So what is the unit of power? Watt. Okay, or joules per second. So we will get 160 watt is the energy expended by girl A to climb a height of 8 meter within a time of 20 seconds. And what will be the power expended by girl B? She is also having a weight 400 Newton and she also climbs a height 8 meter and she takes a time of 50 seconds. Okay, so what will be the power? Power mgh by T. So here, sorry, the value should be mgh we have 400 into 8 divided by 50. Okay, so 40 by 5, 8. So 64 watt, right? So the power expended by this girl, that is girl B. Okay, the power expended by the girl B is equal to 64 watt and power expended by the girl A is equal to 160 watt. Okay, so that is first example, and another example is given to you. A boy of mass 50 kilogram ran up a staircase of 45 steps in 9 seconds. If the height of each step is 50 centimeter, find his power. Take G is equal to 10 meter per second square. So what is what we have to find? Here also we have to find power. Okay. So weight of the boy is given as 50 kilogram. So this 50 kilogram, you have to mass of that boy is given, but you have to convert that mass into weight. How we can convert that mass into weight? We can just multiply that mass with the acceleration due to gravity, then we get weight. Okay, so weight of that boy we can take as mg, that is m is given as 50 and g we can take as 10, right? So 50 into 10, that we will get 500 Newton. Weight of that boy we will get 500 Newton. And height of each staircase is given, but height of staircase, each step is 50 centimeter and 45 steps are there. Okay, so height we can write as 45 into 50, that is given in centimeter. 15 is given in centimeter, so you have to convert it into meters. Okay, so 50 divided by 100, that will give 50 centimeter will convert into meters. Okay, so 45 into 50 divided by 15 divided by 100, that will give the height of this staircase, that is equal to 6.75 meter, and he takes a time of 9 seconds to climb this staircase. He takes a time of 9 seconds, and then we can find out the power is equal to like this, mgh by T, right? Mgh means mg we get 500 Newton and h also we get 6.75 meter and t we have 9 seconds. So power it will give us 375 watt power he used to climb that staircase. Okay, he utilized or he expend 375 watt of power to climb that staircase. Okay, so you should write all these examples into your notebook, right? And there are some more questions are given to you. What is power? That you can easily define what is power and define 1 watt of power, that also we have already discussed. And a lamp consumes 1000 joule of electrical energy in 10 seconds. What is its power? So you should apply the equation for power and you can find out the power, right? And define average power. So you should write all these 4 questions as homework. Okay. And the last portion, commercial units of energy. So what are the commercial units of energy? A unit joule is too small and hence inconvenient to express large quantities of energy. We use bigger unit of energy. Okay, so electrical energy, നമ്മുടെ ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ബില്ല് വരുമ്പോഴൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും ഈ കിലോ വാട്ട് അവറിലായിരിക്കും നമുക്ക് എത്ര നമ്മൾ എനർജി യൂട്ടിലൈസ് ചെയ്തു എന്നുള്ളത് കിലോ വാട്ട് അവറിലായിരിക്കും അവർ റെപ്രസെന്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവുക, റൈറ്റ്? സോ ദാറ്റ് മച്ച് ഓഫ് ഹൈ എനർജി വി യൂട്ടിലൈസ്ഡ് എവറി ടൈം, റൈറ്റ്? ഓക്കെ, നമ്മൾ ഒരുപാട് ഹൈ എമൗണ്ട് ഓഫ് എനർജി യൂട്ടിലൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, ഒരുപാട് ഇലക്ട്രിക്കൽ എക്യുപ്മെന്റ്സ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, ഇലക്ട്രിക്കൽ അപ്ലയൻസസ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് ഒരുപാട് എനർജി യൂട്ടിലൈസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടതായിട്ട് വരും. ഓക്കെ, സോ ജൂൾ ഈസ് എ സ്മോളസ്റ്റ് യൂണിറ്റ്. We cannot express by using this joule how much energy we utilize, right? Okay, so then we use kilowatt hour. This is a commercial unit of energy. Okay, so what is 1 kilowatt hour? 1 kilowatt hour, let us say we have a machine that uses 1000 joule of energy every second. If this machine is used continuously for 1 hour, it will consume 1 kilowatt hour of energy. So thus 1 kilowatt hour is the energy used in 1 hour at a rate of 1000 joule per second. Okay, so 1 kilowatt we have already studied what is 1 kilowatt. It is 1000 joules per second, right? Or it is 1000 joules, sorry, 1000 watt. Okay, so 1 kilowatt hour means 1 kilowatt hour, commercial unit of energy, that is kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour, we can write this as a machine that uses 1000 joules or 1 kilowatt hour at a rate of 1 kilowatt hour is the energy used in 1 hour at a rate of 1000 joules per second. Okay, that is 1 kilowatt, we know 1000 watt, right? Or 1000 watt is also joules per second. So 1 kilowatt hour we know 1000 joules per second divided by hour means 1 hour. Okay, so 1 hour le 1000 joules per second energy utilize ചെയ്യാണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് അതിനെ 1 kilowatt hour എന്ന് പറയാം. Okay, so 1 kilowatt hour is equal to okay, so now what is the commercial unit of energy? Commercial unit of energy that is expressed by kilowatt hour, right? So we know we consume too much of electricity in our houses and other buildings and factories, that all things use too much of energy, right? So joule is a too small unit that is not sufficient to express or not sufficient to find the energy that is utilized in commercial purpose, right? Okay, so in commercial purpose we use kilowatt hour. So 1 kilowatt hour is the energy, 1 kilowatt hour is the energy used in 1 hour at a rate of 1000 joules per second. 1000 joules per second അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 1000 joules per second എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ് 1 kilowatt, റൈറ്റ്? നമ്മൾ പവർ പറഞ്ഞ ടൈമിൽ നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു വാട്ട് ആണ് പവറിന്റെ യൂണിറ്റ്, ബട്ട് ഹയർ യൂണിറ്റ്സ് ആണ് കിലോവാട്ട്, റൈറ്റ്? സോ 1 kilowatt is equal to 1000 watt or 1000 joules per second, right? Okay, so 1000 joules per second 1 hourൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ് 1 kilowatt hour. Okay, so 1 kilowatt hour we can write 1000 joules per second into 1 hour. Okay, so how we can relate it with joules? We know 1000 joules per second is 1 kilowatt, right? Okay, so 1 kilowatt hour we can write this as 1 hour 1000 kilowatt into 1 hour means 60 into 60 seconds, right? Okay, so that is 1000 into 3600 seconds, right? Okay, so this is 1 kilowatt hour in joules. Okay, so what will be the value? 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3600 into 1000. Okay, so 3.6 into 10 to the power 6. 10 to the power 6. Okay, so how we can take this 10 to the power 6? This is 36 into 2 zeros, 36 2 zeros, and again these 3 zeros come, right? Okay, so what will be the value? 3, 6 and 36 lakh, right? Okay, so this we can write 36 into 10 to the power എത്ര സീറോ ഉണ്ടോ അത്രയും നമ്മൾ 10 to the power ആക്കി എഴുതാം, right? So this we can write 10 to the power 5, right? And here when we place one point, then again what we have to do? Into 10. Okay, so 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joules. That is 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 10 to the power 6 joule. Okay, so the energy used in household, industries and commercial establishments are usually expressed in kilowatt hour. For example, electrical energy used during a month is expressed in terms of units. Here 1 unit means 1 kilowatt hour. Okay, നമ്മുടെ ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ബില്ല് വരുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ നോക്കിയാൽ ശ്രദ്ധിച്ചാൽ കാണാൻ പറ്റും എത്ര യൂണിറ്റ് എനർജി നമ്മൾ യൂട്ടിലൈസ് ചെയ്തു എന്നതിനാണ് നമ്മൾ പേ ചെയ്യുന്നത്, റൈറ്റ്? ഓക്കെ, സോ 1 യൂണിറ്റ് ഓഫ് എനർജി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 1 യൂണിറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 1 കിലോവാട്ട് അവർ എനർജിയാണ്. 1 കിലോവാട്ട് എനർജിയാണ് 1 യൂണിറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ബില്ലിലൊക്കെ കാണുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, സോ കിലോവാട്ട് ഹവർ ഈസ് ദ കൊമേഴ്ഷ്യൽ യൂണിറ്റ് ഓഫ് എനർജി. ഓക്കെ, so these are about our chapter and work and energy. Okay, so let me conclude our chapter and we can discuss some of the examples and some of the problems through WhatsApp. Okay, so in the coming classes we can discuss that all things, and let me wind up. Take care children, and if you have any doubt you can ask me anytime, and you should do your works properly and you should submit your note after getting this class. Okay, so thank you.